Thanks for joining me. This is Danny, and welcome back to Real Tech, Season 3, Episode number 16, I believe, in which we are going to be setting up an excavator from Immersive Engineering in order to get a lot of ores. So let's get started. The excavator from Immersive Engineering, in case you don't know, is a large multi-block machine that extracts ores from underground. Ores that we cannot normally get access to, so it's kind of producing them. It requires a fair amount of RF, or FE, forge energy, or IF, whatever you want to call it. And we don't have very much. However, we can still run an excavator. It'll just run really slow. Now the excavator, all the blocks that we need, we can find in our engineer's manual from Immersive Engineering. And we can also find out some information about the excavator here, but this is it. It's big, it's a lot of blocks, and it's a whole lot of steel. I don't have very good steel production yet, so at the moment, I am actually waiting for my coke oven and my crude blast furnace, which seems to be producing dust for some reason. I don't understand why, but whatever. I already made a bunch of steel components, but I have to make a lot more. And then, like I said, we're also going to need power. So I am currently working, while I'm waiting for that to happen, I am working on also setting up power lines that are going to take us way over there. Why way over there? Because that is where we're going to find the stuff that we want. Just in case you weren't with me the last time, I'm just going to briefly go over the process of finding the ore deposits, or prospecting for the ore deposits that you can get with the excavator. So the first thing that we do is we make this mineral survey tools thing, like so. It's relatively cheap, but it basically allows us to right-click on the ground. We right-click and hold, and then it's going to tell us very briefly, there are traces of laterite here. So now we look in our book under minerals. I'm just going to type minerals, and then we're going to see mineral deposits. I'm going to click on that, and this basically tells us about this process that we're doing right now. And then if we keep going to the other pages, we're going to see all the different types of mineral deposits that exist. Now, I actually made a couple adjustments in this pack that I'm going to tell you about. But what we found here was, what was it? It started with an L, laterite. Laterite is a mineral vein that can be found in the overworld. It consists of 77.78% bauxite, 22.22% iron ore. So if we set up an excavator right here, this is what we're going to get. And that's not exactly what I want. I'll tell you, there's a couple things that I want. One of them is this pentlatite. Mostly just because I want the iron. And I mean, laterite would be nice too, but pentlatite has more iron. Cooperite would be really nice to found. Now, normally it does not have diamonds. I added that in this pack because there are no veins that have diamonds, and I thought we should have one. This one is extremely rare. I haven't found one yet in this world, and I have done a lot of prospecting. I've spent a lot of time prospecting. I haven't found a diamond one yet, or the Cooperite one yet. I did find cinnabar. This is redstone. I also found this, I believe, somewhere. Bituminous. This is another thing that I changed. Beryl normally has emerald and prismarine. In this pack, it also has lapis because that's just needed in this pack. It's just something we need. So I made sure that we had a vein that has lapis in it. This one is also extremely rare. Yeah, I was all over the world, especially along my rail line, doing prospecting, and I found a lot of stuff. But there's the one thing that I want over here, really far away, and that is beryl with 3 exclamation points, because I was very excited that I found it. I was hoping I would find something closer to home, but I didn't. There it is. Someday we're going to go over there and get it. Not today. Today we are going to go over there by the mine, because if you were with me in the last episode, you would know that we found a cinnabar over there, and we also found orocupride and some oil, which orocupride is gold, and then we found an iron vein here too, and they're actually mixed together. So now the next step in this process is to take the core sample drill and a power source, which I don't have, darn it, So I'm not really going to be able to fully demonstrate this to you, but I did it in the last episode. We already saw it, but I'll just tell you. You set it down in the world, you give it power, and I usually just carry a power cell with me, and I put it next to it. You right-click on it, it drills down for several seconds, and then it comes back up, and then when you right-click on it, again, you get a sample. I have one around here somewhere that I can show you. Well, actually, let's just go over there to the samples that we're going to use, and I'll show you. Oh, I also have some farms over here. Whoa, spider! Oh my god! I forgot spiders exist. So way over here, on my cute little bridge, we found this thing up here, which has cinnabar, which is redstone, and pentlandite, which was the iron and something else. And then we also found that the further we go in this direction, we have more pentlandite and less cinnabar. So if we go somewhere in the middle here, like if I set up the excavator like maybe here, we're going to get a fair amount of both, which is what I want. So this is where we're going to set up the excavator today. We're going to have to run power all the way over here. Maybe I'll convert that to power too, so that we have a little bit more power over here, because we're not using... We're not using any of that rotational energy, so we might as well use it for power, right? After a great deal of waiting for the steel, I finally have all the steel I need. I made my steel sheet metal. However, I have run out of copper, so I need to go on a bit of a mining trip. The last mining trip I am going to take for copper, because I've decided that the first excavator that we're going to set up is going to be extracting copper and gold over there, over on the mountainside over there. So we're going to do that. Now, there is copper, according to my thing, down here somewhere. So I'm going to dig a hole under the house and see if I can find some copper quickly. I just need... So I have to make this radiator, or these radiator blocks. And I need 4 copper for that. And I have 3. I also want to make another alternator from Create Crafts and Additions, which requires 13 copper. 4 times 3, 12, and then 13. Yeah, 13 copper. And that's going to allow us to pull a little bit of RF out of our create setup. Well, I ended up finding 18 copper down there. So that is going to be very useful, especially after I triple it in our little ore tripling system in here. And then I also found a little bit of iron, but I don't really need iron. I have a lot. And 4 radiator blocks. Yay! Now, we only need 3, but they're made in sets of 4, so annoyingly, we will forever have an extra radiator block. You actually need 20 steel to make these 4 heavy engineering blocks. So I had to make 4 of these, so now we still have 3 heavy engineering blocks just sitting in here, not being used. All that steel just sitting there. 6 sheet metal. An andesite alloy. Capacitor, 3 copper coils, and an iron rod, which I do not have, and an iron rod, which I now have. Here, I'll speed this up for you a bit. Hooray, alternator. So I now have power running all the way from my power plant over there, through my base, and then down along this road, or this pathway, which will someday be a mine colony. And then over here, and then over the bridge. So I'm using, of course, we've got the regular immersive engineering posts, but I'm also using immersive posts. Just because we can make them any height that we want to. And I've got some really tall ones over there going through my base area and then along the side of that hill. Otherwise, it dips too low. And then I use them here just so that we can get kind of a matching little post set up there. I could actually use different fences. They accept just about any fence. If you hold shift while you're looking at them in your inventory, you can see that like you can use just about any fence. So like I could make it match like the spruce fence here, but I don't know, I think that actually looks decent like that. It's kind of cute, like little lamp posts up there, and then the one on the side just happens to have wires, and then going through this little path, winding through the trees, and then it just kind of ends right here. Now I had planned on putting setting an excavator up right here eventually, but we might set one up over there first in order to get gold and copper. However, I want to find a place to tap in to our energy here so that we can generate some RF, but I want to have a way to switch it on and off like that, because otherwise we're going to overload our system if we have both this quarry running and we're generating RF. But right now we're not running the quarry, and we probably won't be for a while, so we may as well get some RF out of this setup. Go at the highest speed here, we do end up overstressing things. It wants to use 5120 stress units, which is more than our network is producing right now. We could change that. Otherwise, we can just hook up to a slower cog, and I found out that the fastest cog we can hook up to is that one right there, which gets us 93 FE per tick, running at 1280 stress units. 1280. So let's see what we are producing. We are producing 2560. We should be able to go twice that speed, which means that we should be able to produce twice that much RF, but we'd have to shut everything off down there, including the elevator, which might be a problem. Okay, I guess for now, I'm just going to do this. And then I bet we'll be able to put the alternator right there, and it won't overstress. Yes, and so now we're producing 187 RF per tick, so that's decent. But like if we try to do this now, it's going to overstress. So we're going to have to put a clutch here or something. And then anytime we want to use the elevator, we're going to have to shut off the RF production. I've got a pass-through insulator going through there. If you're not familiar with how that works, basically you just put a connector on both sides of a block, any block, and then you hit it with a hammer, and then it becomes a pass-through or a feed-through insulator, and it allows you to run power through any block in Immersive Engineering. And this is the extendable post from Immersive Posts. So basically you just place it down, and then you right-click on it with fences, and then you can, depending on how tall you want it, you can use as many fences as you like. So something to keep in mind about these power lines, the Immersive Engineering wires, the connectors have a fairly low limit. So the low voltage connectors have a 256 FE per tick limit, but it's much higher for the wires. So like you can have, and the connectors, I don't remember exactly what it is, but you can look in here and it'll tell you under power wires and generation, basic wiring, 2048. So we can have up to 2048 FE per tick running through these low voltage wires. It's just the connectors that are limited to 256. So we don't have to worry about like having lots of different sources of power. We're definitely not gonna have that much. Oh, and by the way, we can climb these too. Ta-da. Okay, that reaches. Hopefully this will reach also. It should. I don't know why I wouldn't. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay. So now we've got power from both of our power plants in this line, and actually it's heading back that way too. So that this power can be used over there as well. So everything is all connected in one network. So I took a bunch of core samples around here, and I was really hoping to find a mix of orocoprite, which is the gold and copper, and the pentlandite, which is the iron and nickel. I did not. There's orocoprite right there, and there's pentlandite right here, but they do not mix. As far as I can tell, or at least with all the samples that I took. This right here is a mix of cinnabar and pentlandite. I definitely want that at some point. But I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the excavator like right over here so that we can just grab a bunch of that orocoprite. And then once we have enough, or as much as we want for a while or whatever, I'm actually just going to pick up the excavator and then just put it right here. You know what? Let's do this one more time. I'll do this with you guys. I'm just tapping into the power here. This is the core sample drill. I'm just going to put it right there in the water. And then it's gonna, I have to shift right click for the wire connector for some reason. I'm not sure why, but whatever. I'll go with it. And then we'll just link that to this. Darn it. There we go. So that'll fill up with power. I'm going to right click it. It's going to drill. I got a stick and some saplings. Alright, it's done. So I right click on it and I get pentlandite. Huh. Interesting. So there's pentlandite right here. And there's orocoprite right there. But I can't seem to get a mix. I guess since the power is basically free here, I am just going to do one more in between these two. And right here, there's no mineral. So like that close to those other ones, there's nothing. And it is no longer chunk based like it used to be. Like this is all in one chunk and we're getting different stuff. It's just orocoprite. It's look at that. So close to each other. Oh man. But it's just like a clean cutoff, it seems. Should I do this spot? Let's do this spot, because why not? Orocoprite. Okay. So it's one or the other. I totally forgot this. The excavator is 2 pieces, even though it's really just one, but they have it in the book as 2 separate things. So there's the excavator base, and then there's the wheel. You put them together and they look like this. I don't really understand why they do this, because it's just confusing. But anyway, I still need 9 blocks of steel and 20 steel scaffolding. Oh, this is what you need to make the excavator. Yeah, it's a lot of steel. Holy crap, that's a lot of stuff. And then you make all that stuff, and you're committed, right? And then you go to the next page and you're like, oh. It's such a troll, the excavator. Well, I'm finally ready. About a week has gone by since that last clip. I ran out of time in my little session, but I'm ready to go now. So we have Immersive Petroleum installed. By the way, so this is what we're going to need. We need this Redstone engineering block, 16 steel sheet metal, 9 engineering blocks, well, the core sample drill, 26 steel scaffolding, 9 blocks of steel, 3 radiator blocks, which requires a bunch of steel. All in all, it was over 2.5 stacks of steel. So it's quite expensive. However, in time, the excavator will get us that stuff back. However, the one thing it will not give us back is time. So this thing in my hand is from Immersive Petroleum. It's the projector. And if we shift right click in the arrow, we toggle between selection mode and projection mode. We want to go into selection mode to select the excavator. Excavator and excavator 2. Okay, so the first excavator is the one that doesn't include, I don't know why you would ever want that, but the second one includes the wheel. This is the one we're going to make. And confirm. So we are now in projection mode, and now we can project this guy. I want it turned that way. Okay, so I shift scrolled, and that turned it. And this thing is 3 by 6, if I remember correctly. So I would like it to be there. Okay, I guess I don't remember correctly. Oh, with the wheel, it's a bit more. It's a bit more. Okay, let's actually move it. So I shift right click down the ground to... I don't know why... Okay, let's do that. That looks good. Gonna have to break some more blocks here. We're probably gonna get water on us. So this is showing us where to place blocks. Those red outlines tell us that there's something there that's not supposed to be there. And that is these blocks, because the wheel goes down into the ground. So that looks like a block of steel. So when we hold the block of steel in our hand, it's going to out... Oh, but we do need to keep the projector in our hotbar. Or our offhand, either way. It's going to outline the blocks, or the places where we need to put the block that's in our hand. And that is most likely scaffolding. You can climb scaffolding, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. I just climbed that. It's like a ladder. That's why it's called scaffolding. At nighttime, we can tell more easily which blocks are ghost blocks and which ones aren't. And ta-da! That's it. It's the last block. I did it the wrong way because all the connectors are on the other side. Is that okay? Maybe it's okay. I'd prefer that it be this way. Shoot! Ta-da! The last block. We have a green outline. That means we did it. Yay! So I'm just going to break that. I was using that to get up there. And then grab my engineer's hammer and hit this heavy engineer's block right here. Ta-da! Diggy diggy hole. Challenge complete. Nice. Now we're getting the red outlines because the projector no longer recognizes those blocks. But there we have it. So now we just got to power this guy up. This is the redstone control. So if we give it a redstone signal, it will stop. We can hit it with a hammer to invert that behavior. This is where the stuff comes out. We have to have an inventory there or a pipe or something. Otherwise, it'll just throw things out in the world. It'll also throw things out in the world if that inventory gets full. This thing can take up to 4,096 FE per tick. With 4,096 RF per tick, it will go pretty fast. We don't have nearly that much, so it's going to be going really, really slow for us. I'm okay with that because I'm just going to set it up and walk away. But just for demonstration purposes, I do want to get a full capacitor just so we can see this guy run at max speed because I think that would be fun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wooden storage crate here. Since I'm not setting up any automation yet, I just want to use the storage crate. It's going to fill it up, and then I can pick it up with its inventory. I'm also going to set up a little redstone circuit here. Okay, so this is my redstone stuff. We can put a panel here. We don't need panels anymore, though, so like theoretically, we could just do that. And get a tiny comparator coming out of this box so that we can shut off the excavator before it fills it up. Because if it fills up this crate, it's going to start spewing stuff all over the world. So there's a tiny comparator. If we put some stuff in there, we should see that it gives us a signal. Right now it's giving us a signal of 1. If this thing is full, it's going to give us a signal of 15. So what I want to do is maybe say if it gets a signal of like, I don't know, 12 or 13. Do I happen to have any counters? I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the comparator in subtract mode. So we just right click the comparator, that puts it in subtract. That's not, I don't want a counter. That's not, I want a tiny, I want a counter, not a clock. Okay, so the counter we can use as a potentiometer. So let's see, if we go from the comparator, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 15, 14, 13, 12. We want to bring that down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's flashing because this lever is actually powering that block. 8, 9. So at 12, we're going to get a redstone signal here of 12, 11, 10, 9. So this is perfect. So now we can actually get rid of that lever. Now just to make sure that this guy is going to behave with tiny redstone, I am going to put a lever here so that we can use that to turn it on and off. So I'm only giving this 256 RF per tick at the moment. We'll change that. I have a high voltage capacitor here that is full, so just so that we can see it run at high speed, because that will output 4096 RF per tick, which is the maximum this guy can take. But it will run no matter how much RF you give it. It'll just be really slow. So It's getting a redstone signal right now. So it shouldn't be doing anything. Now let's turn this off. And we should see it start to turn, but really slowly. Yes, there we go. Hooray! So now if I hadn't cut out all these blocks down here, actually it is going to try to break those blocks. So I could help it along by breaking a couple of those. And it'll actually still touch them, and then they'll end up in the chest. And then we're going to see the contents of the buckets. So I see something in that bucket down there. It broke something. It's so slow. Alright, so let's hook up this HV capacitor just to give it a little bit more speed. No, that looks like an ore. So it is already starting to generate ores. Now, we're not going to get that ore until this thing does a full rotation. And I believe... I don't know if it's one bucket for ore. I think it's actually a couple buckets for one ore. So, nothing in there yet. But if we do that, and then just make sure it's outputting... then it should speed up. Okay, it's not speeding up, probably because the morph tool is making the wrench not work properly. So I'm going to throw the wrench out of the morph tool. There we go. Now it's going super fast. But it's going to drain the power pretty quickly. And... dun, 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 we got 3 copper! Nice! Hooray! We've got copper and gold, because that's what we've got in this chunk here. We've got the orocupride. Awesome. So I'm going to let this... no, it already used that all up, right? No? Oh, no, it's still going pretty fast. No, it only used half of it. Okay. Oh, nice. Alright. So, like, I can just walk away from this. And when I come back later, at some point, this chest is it's just going to be full. Well... almost full, because I'm having it stop at about 3/4 full. The reason I'm doing that is just to make sure, like I could probably go higher than that, but I just want to make sure that we don't end up in a situation where, like, there's only one stack left, and it's trying to put in the other ore, because it could do 2 different types of ore, so I just want to leave a little buffer at the top. I would like to move this excavator. I got a fair amount of gold and more copper than I will probably ever use. So I'd like to move it over here now, which is where we're going to get iron and redstone. Instead of breaking this thing down and then building it up again over there, I am going to use the Schematicannon from Create. Of course, we could also use the copy-paste tool from Building Gadgets, but since I already have this, I'm going to use it for this. I'm just going to break a block, any one, doesn't matter which one, and it's going to become blocks again instead of a multi-block structure. Oh, okay, I just broke the wheel. I guess I have to break one of these too. And then I'm going to put those blocks back and get the schematic for it by doing a piece of cobblestone there, and we right-click there. And then we're going to right-click the opposite corner. There. Cool. So now I need to break those little placeholders. And I'll save this schematic, and I'll be able to use this whenever I want to move this guy. And I will be moving it a lot, because I'm not going to be making a lot of these anytime soon. Like, I may make a couple of them at some point, but... So now we can give it a name. Excavator. And I guess we'll just say, boy, we could upload this and use it in all of our other worlds too. Nice. But I'm just going to save it for now. So now we come back to our schematic table with an empty schematic. Now we were using a schematic in Quill. Now we're using an empty schematic. We put that in here. And it's already set to Excavator. And we click. And now there's our schematic with the excavator. Okay, so now I'm going to take the train back. That's the nice thing about having the excavators, that I happen to find spots like right by the mine, because now I can chill in the train. So now we take our schematic. We've done this before in a different episode. So like I click There now. So there it is. Focus. Move X, Z. Mirror, rotate. I'm using the scroll wheel. Control scroll to rotate by 90 degrees. Okay. That would be command scroll if you're on a Mac. And we want it so that this is facing out, because that's where all the controls are. And we actually want to bring it this way one. So I'm going to, from here, I'm going to push it. So we left Alt and we go to move X, Z. Oh, that's pulling. Okay, why I'm scrolling in the same direction and it's like, whoa, it's freaking out. Okay. It's freaking out. Okay, there we go. That's not where I want it though. I want it this way. 2 blocks. One more. There. That's where I want it. So here's a Schematicatron. Now that we have our schematic set up, we can put it inside here. And it's going to need an inventory. Oh yes, and gunpowder. Alright, I tore that one down. I've got everything in this box, in this crate, so hopefully this will work right away. I put 1 piece of gunpowder in there, which gives it 399 shots. Last time I put a whole bunch in there and I ended up wasting it because it doesn't need very much. So I think 1 piece of gunpowder is going to be enough. Ready? It says it's ready. Oh, there we go. Yay! Oh, that is so cool. I love that. Wait, I'm trying to get a good view here where we can see both. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Nice. It's so crazy. That's way better than doing it myself. Ding! Yay! Okay. Now we can just grab our engineer's hammer. I don't have the engineer's hammer in there. And click. Ta-da! Alright, we have an excavator again. It would have been definitely more convenient if I would have put it on a circuit board, but we can still shift right click with the wrench to pick it up. And then I guess I'll just bring this block over there. But yeah, if I were to do this all over again, I would have put it on a circuit board. Oh, now it's going to be rotated the wrong way too. Another reason to have it on a circuit board, because we can't rotate that. I'm going to take a blueprint of this, and then I'm going to destroy it and put it on a circuit board. Just for better flexibility in the future. It's nice that we can play stuff without the circuit board, but circuit boards do have their advantages, like that. Ta-da! Alright. And we are already... Well, we were moving. Oh, but we're giving it redstone now. Okay. Alright, so there we go. I may as well get a little burst out of this. Opposite side, output. Eh. Yay! Hey, that actually looks nice right there. I like that. Looks like an awful lot of redstone. Redstone and sulfur. Oh no. So I guess I have to move it again. I did the mineral survey tools over here, and it's just saying cinnabar. Even though right here, just a few blocks away, we've got cinnabar and pentlandite. And it's not chunk based anymore, so, and there's no chunk boundary. So I guess I'm going to move it over like right here. Well, at least this is fun to watch. Alright, let's see what we get. Dirt. I see dirt. More dirt. A lot of dirt. Why is there so much dirt? What's going on? What the? Oh, got something. Probably sulfur. Iron! Yes! And nickel. Now, I hope we get a little bit of redstone too, but I have a feeling we're not going to. But perhaps that's okay. We don't need a lot of redstone. And I can always move it back over there if we want redstone. Or somewhere in this area, because this area has both too. But alright, now we're getting what I want. Hooray! So, now I need power. I want to get some more power out here. So I'm going to be working in the next, I guess, couple of episodes toward getting the diesel generator running. And we're most likely going to go the immersive petroleum route because I just really enjoy the immersive petroleum mod. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very immersive and it's very petroleum. However, I need steel because, wow, this episode took me so long because I have a really crappy steel setup. It's all manual. So we're going to automate steel next time with the improved blast furnace, and we're going to set up something where we just drop off the ingredients that it needs, and then it makes the steel for us and sends it back to our base. So that's what we're going to do next time. If you do have any questions, comments, ideas, or whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.